Hey guys, Patience here, and today we're going to be talking about some of my most embarrassing stories, so that maybe if you do something stupid and you feel bad about it, you can look back at this video and say, hey, at least I didn't mess up as bad as Patience did that one time. Let's begin. 2012, I broke my ankle doing Gangnam Style, and I'm not going to go into detail about how that happened or how that played out, but you can just imagine it was a very interesting trip to the hospital, and the doctors still remember me. One time I spent an entire round of a Mario Kart 8 tournament thinking I was the other guy. I was almost expelled in the 2nd grade for bringing a sword to school. The teachers didn't find it as cool as I did. The first time I tried fake eyelashes, I glued my eyes shut. In the 2nd grade, I pierced my septum, and what I would do was I had this little ring, and I would turn it up in my nose, and it was fine. It was hidden from my parents. Everybody was happy. Well, parents didn't know, so I was happy. While I was asleep that night, one of them fell out, and I turned it back down. I thought, oh crap, I'm gonna have to go and buy another pack of these just because I'm missing this one screw. So I go through my bed and I look up under my covers. Nope, didn't find it. So I'm like, alright, you know what, I'll just take the other one out, forget it, it's too early in the morning to deal with this. Put it back in my nose, and I went to school. Everything was fine until like 3rd period whenever something started bothering me in my nose. And I thought that was just like a problem with my nose ring, like maybe it was tickling me. No, it wasn't. I went and I sneezed and I looked into my tissue like every human being on the face of the planet does after they sneeze, and I find it. There's my screw. I seriously sneezed the screw in my nose ring out in the middle of class. Now, I had a lot of problems as a kid, and one of my biggest problems was people would pick on me about these problems. So, my counselor decided that she had a solution, and she would bring me and all the girls that made my life a living hell, and put us all in the same table in the same room, and she gave us all an apple, and then she told us, okay, we want you to hit this apple against the table, and wait. Now, in her head, she was going to go, and everybody was going to hit the apple against the table, and you can't see anything on the outside, but whenever she cuts it up, you can see how brown and mushy and gross it is on the inside. Now, this was supposed to represent that words were more like psychological, they hurt more on the inside than on the outside, you know, you can't see it, blah, 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 blah. Now, that was what was going on in her head. In my head, she told me I was going to hit an apple against the table, so you know what I was like? I was like, hey, I'm going to take this apple, I'm going to ram it against the table, no mercy. I'm going to show all these kids exactly how tough I am. I'm going to slam this apple so hard, not a single person in the world will mess with me, because I am big old strong Patience Blaze, and I kill apples for a living. I was like 7, by the way. So, she hands it to one girl, and she's like, alright, hits it against the table, everything was fine. Hands it to another girl, she's like, boom, okay. Hands it off to the next girl, boom. They give me a fresh apple, and you know what I do? I go, and I muster up all the strength I can in my itty-bitty, like, 7-year-old body, and I'm like, wham! I slammed down to the table, no mercy, no chill at all. I just, like, mutilated that apple. Or I did in my mind. That's what happened in my mind. It didn't actually happen. What actually happened was, with all the force and strength I could, like, find in my little bitty 7-year-old body, I slammed my thumb on the table because I twisted my hand, and it happened like that. And I didn't play it off very well either. I wish I could have just, like, completely slammed it down and been like, yeah, and just cried about it later. But no, it was in that moment, I slammed it down on the table as hard as I could, nearly broke my thumb. I did not hide it at all. I was in pain, and at that point, my counselor just gave up. Oh God, Patience, what have you done? I'm trying to help you. So I almost broke my thumb in the counseling session that one time, added to the list of problems. Now, my last story takes place in freshman year Army camp. Whenever I was about 14 years old, they put me on a bus and they shipped me about 8 hours away to this Army base. And I lived on the barracks, and I got up 3 o'clock in the morning every day, ran a mile, did some, like, push-ups, did some PT. Woo! Yeah. Army stuff. Now, one of the things about living on this Army base was I shared barracks with about 400 other girls that I've never met in my life, and there was one shower room in the barracks, and it was a big room. It had like 24 nozzles and nothing else. There was no means of separation at all, just 24 shower heads and no curtains, nothing. That was it. Now, of course, they can shower with 24 other girls that wanted nothing to do with that at all. They would turn out the lights while they showered, and there was no avoiding the shower at all. You got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you did some PT. At that point in the day, you stank. We would shower with just enough light to not die, basically. The drill sergeant was having none of that. That was a safety hazard, apparently. We could slip and fall, but we didn't care. Nobody cared if they slipped and fell and died, because at least nobody saw our titties while doing so. oops. Now it's like 4 days into it at this point. We're like shaving and washing up, you know, doing our hair and junk, whatever we do in the shower. And at about this time that we were taking the shower, one of the drill sergeants was walking by and she saw that and she was having none of it. She goes into the shower room, like not standing outside, but she takes her body into the shower room fully clothed and she just starts wailing on us. It was bad. She had zero chill in this situation. She didn't just turn on the lights though, she slammed the wall and the freaking lights turned on. So here I am, cold, wet, and naked with like 23 other cold, wet, naked chicks, and we're getting screamed at by a drill sergeant. If she was in my situation and she had to like slam the apple on the thing, there would have been no dumb business about it. She just would have went straight down, disintegrated it, juice would have went everywhere, nobody would have picked on her ever again. Like 30 years later, somebody would be talking crap about her in the bar and it's like, hey look, no, don't say anything about that girl, because you know what she did to the apple when she was 7 years old? It wasn't a high point in my life. But I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.